What part of Loretta's brain, her writer brain, does Dash come from? I wish I knew brain stuff better, but the same part that likes cheese. Because he's pleasurable.
And soft.
Yeah, and sharp.
Easy to smear.
Mm-hmm, smearable.
Nice on a nice little cracker. And even good when he's moldy. Makes him even more delectable cheese with a little bit of mold.
Man.
It's really all about hair. If you look at every romance novel, there is a mess of hair on both people on the cover. There's always tendrils blowing in the wind. There's just a lot of hair. So I think romance novels without hair are basically history books.
True. I just wanted to look like Brad Pitt in Legends of the Fall. That was my inspiration.
All these things are coming out.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh,
Was that real?
I told you. Yeah, it's fully real.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like his hair was beautiful.
Was it?
I don't know if it was a wig or if it was his hair.
You're saying that like you almost cried when you just said
gorgeous.
that.
I've seen that movie so many times.
Have you?
I love it. other than Fight Club, it's like my favorite Brad Pitt.
Fight Club is just epic.
Silly.
Okay. Anyway.
Sorry.
Enough with Brad Pitt. I had done him a favor years ago. Then he asked me for another favor, which was to be in his film. He's a favorite guy. And Janine was doing his hair, so she was the intermediary. He didn't call, she was doing the deal. So I said, fine, I'll do it. And I said, I'll do it, but then you have to come do mine. And so he came and did mine. So that's how deals are made now in Hollywood. They're through the hairstylists.
Yeah.
Because people who do hair know. They know everything. We had dance rehearsals before we even got on set where we had to, I have to say, and I don't know if you feel that, you might not feel this way because you're more your second nature.
No, I think I know where you're going with this.
Is that it's so intimate doing a dance rehearsal. That is about being intimate, but not making it look like we're forcing it. There's just something so revealing about that, and you have to trust.
Well, because
and respect.
it doesn't start intimate. Like meaning the performance isn't, it's an intimate learning experience because you're really exposed trying to like learn something. Like, you know, I had never done salsa before, and which is crazy because I grew up in Florida, so I would always fake salsa and I wouldn't actually really know how to do it. And Sandra actually really, it was a good, like she knew how to salsa. And so I felt actually really insecure, and I usually don't feel very insecure in dance. And then you kind of, you know, you learn the steps in a way, and then like there's another layer of intimacy that happens. And, you know, so it's just it's a really revealing and bonding experience learning how to dance together.
And it helped hearing him say that he didn't feel, I was insanely insecure. I'm like, here, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna attempt to match Channing and his dance skills. And I think it was a level playing field for us in terms of how do we come at it? How do we make it cinematic? How do we tell the story? How do we get to know each other? So getting over that hump was and we knew that we'd be fine in the trenches once we got done with that.
Totally. Getting leeches glued like inside of your butt cheeks, you know, that's an interesting one. You know, hi, I just met this man, and you know, they're pulling apart my butt cheeks and putting the glue in and tacking them on there.
But I looked at it like a surgeon, like a doctor. I had no emotion to it. My job and my task was to
My butt does that to people. It makes them feel nothing.
Open up those cheeks and get those leeches out.
Open up those cheeks.
I got them out. With surgical precision.
You did.
Left minimal marks.
You did.
If we co-wrote a romance novel, Taming of the Shrew.
Channing in the Shrew.
Channing in the Shrew. Sad. It's funny, but it's oddly true.
Shut up.
Oddly true.
It's not. It was just really opportunistic.
I think that would be really good, though.
It would
sort
be
of
good.
a Taming of the Shrew, sort of.
Taming of the Shrew would be dope. Remember our siblings? Our idea.
Yes.
I think it's not like.
But then that wouldn't be really romantic.
But I think it's we find each other and in the.
Just about we're about to get to it. We realize we're related.
Yeah, it's a real comedy. You're just like, whoa, what's happening? And we know that that's not helpful at all, but yes.
But yes, that's the title. But yes.
But yes. Whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, like people will sort of, I think, for a very long time, not be able to separate him from, you know, his early, I guess, introduction to the world, and it was such a grand one. But there is so much to that man, like, and he's a man now, and he's like and he's brilliant. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think, if he took like an IQ test, I'd be fascinated to know. Like, I mean, there's nothing I don't think he can do or that he can't do. He's like and he's just such a lovely person. I know a lot of people that have grown up in the like business, and for him to be as balanced and as normal and as lovely and caring and evolved as he is, I mean, you would be able to give that kid all the excuses in the world to not be balanced, and he's one of the most like balanced people that I've ever met.
The exciting thing about his role in this film is that you would never expect him to be who he is in this film, and he does it so succinctly and so elegantly and committed. Funny and committed and dark and sexy, and like it's exciting because people are going to go, that's Daniel Radcliffe. Channing.
It depends. I
would
think
try and redecorate it. Doesn't mean I'll live.
Hey, he could make it really, really comfortable.
Yeah, but I'll die in a beautiful, comfortable place. Channing would survive.
I like survival stuff, so I would give myself a good chance. But I don't know. The ingenuity that somehow comes out of this brain up here is it's pretty wild sometimes. The solves that she has for things is pretty genius.
Well, you'd have to find a time period where the women got to do what the guys got to do. You know, I don't want to be in the movies where you're just the romantic ingenue, because that's not fun. In Lost City, I would say I'm the customary guy role.
And I'm the ingenue.
Yeah. He's like, I'm the ingenue.
I'm the ingenue.
I'm the ingenue.
With head trauma.
Head trauma. So you'd have to find one, and you'd have to go back to the 30s, Hepburn and Tracy, where the words, it's about words that are the swords in the foreplay, and that's what I love. That sort of, guess who's coming to dinner? Guess who? You know, anything that they did, Philadelphia Story. It just the cadence and the rhythm and the timing and the choreography of that, I know had to have been brutal, but it is so anything, but also anything physical. Charlie Chaplin, Jerry Lewis, Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball, like anything with physical comedy. Give me anything that has an obstacle physically, and I will make a meal out of it, or I'll try to. And that for me is what makes me happy when I'm in the comedy world.
I mean, I said it earlier, but Practical Magic is one of my favorite movies of hers. So I would love to be a witch, a magical witch.
Who says you're not?
How do you know? There's no way to know.
Well, there's a couple moments, and I always remember movies not because of the movie, but because of the life memory that came out of it. There was one day, and I know we've talked about this before, but where everybody spilled out. The sun was setting. We had rented this resort. Everyone was quarantined in this resort, and for some reason, it was a day where everyone was there. It had to have been a weekend. Spilled out onto the beach, and I'm watching our brilliant prop masters floating in the water and having conversations, and with their kids. People brought their children. The stunt team brought their children. People were quietly just absorbing where we were, and the sun was setting. And I remember Chan and my daughter had his dog's leash, and she took off, and Lila was parallel to the ground, but she didn't let go of the leash. So like, it was like a Charlie Brown episode. There were everywhere you looked, there was life happening. And
I remember that day.
We had just were given a moment of relaxing, and our guard was down, and you got to see everyone taking in the same thing at the same time. But all these people were from different walks of life. And it was really quiet. And I'm sure it wasn't, but I just remember sitting back, looking around, going,
No, it
was
felt
really
peaceful.
quiet." Yeah.
And that made it feel
did.
quiet.
Yeah.
You know, it probably wasn't quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, almost the exact same thing. It really was, you know, there was like a little restaurant sort of bar there that, you know, kind of everybody would go to after work, and, you know, and then you hang out for a little while, and then everybody, you know, goes and you got work to do the next day. But it was a really idealistic way to like make a movie. I'll do anything with Miss Sandra Bullock.
I would love to do, knowing what I know now, I would love to do another like challenge. Maybe not repeating or trying to continue something, but reinventing and doing something again that just requires us to physically have to navigate and tell a story through obstacles. And it has to be funny.
Yeah.
It just has to be funny.
Yeah, which is it's tough, it's a tall order. Like, it really is. It's like, you know, even this movie was the tone and like the action and everything, and then balancing all that with also still caring about two people. It's a really complex gumbo of like things. So yeah.